Recently, I've spoken to people that I know that have had COVID or have had experienced what happens when you get COVID, and a lot of them have reported how you lost your sense of taste, you lost your sense of smell, and it really influenced the way they ate. So a lot of them stopped eating as much and subsequently lost some weight, and it got me to thinking that how much of our eating is related to taste and smell, the experience of eating, the eating to feel better, eating to feel the enjoyment of it, whatever it might be, right? And and then when people don't have that sensation, they're less likely to eat. So what it means is that they weren't physiologically hungry. They weren't actually hungry. They were eating in instances because it tasted good or it smelled good, or maybe there was a signal to eat because that food was available or whatever it was, right? Now, this really, I think, underscores the value of tracking. And I know people don't like tracking. And at one point, I didn't like tracking myself as well. But what it helps you to do is become more honest, because then when you have to question yourself for that time, when you're writing it down, you realize, like, am I eating this because I'm actually hungry? Because this thing here says I'm probably not going to be hungry. Yes, when you're in a calorie deficit, you're going to be hungry at times, but most of the time, it's not the amount that you would normally eat if you weren't paying attention, if you weren't being accountable to how much you should be eating. Because you see that really nice treat that your family member baked, or maybe that recipe from the store that was really good, or maybe it was a sample that you tasted while you were shopping. Now you're going to take it home with you. Like, there are things that are calling out to you that make you want to eat because they'll taste good, they smell good, but not necessarily because you're hungry. And that's one of the important things to learn, the different types of hunger. And I will probably come back to that again in the future. But the whole point here is that tracking helps you to become accountable to it, not to make sure that you're overeating and you're eating for your physiological needs and not just your emotional, mental, and all the other needs as well. Now, that's not to say that all this stuff doesn't have a place. I think it's important to enjoy the social aspect and eat, 80-20. Of course, enjoy it sometimes. Make it part. Don't completely live a life where you're maybe not having any treats or anything like that. But the tracking portion does help you become more honest. But really, what all sparked this is that oftentimes we're eating because we're stressed, because it's that time of day to eat, because it smells good, it looks good. There's a lot of other sensations that are prompting us to eat, and not necessarily because we're hungry. And again, this is, I think, one of the reasons why tracking is so powerful. But I think at some point, maybe you start to become so in tune and so mindful, you realize that when you're craving certain things, it's not necessarily because you're hungry, but maybe it's because you saw it or you thought about it or something reminded you. So there's reasons why it's prompting you to become hungry when you're actually not hungry. So one of the ways that you eventually become intuitively eating, I think, goes through tracking, being accountable, and learning the different types of hunger.